I'm the big guy around here. I'm the sun. I provide light for the plants. Without me, they can't process photosynthesis.
Big guy, huh? I'm H2O, but you can call me water. I'm pretty important for photosynthesis too.
While those two argue about who's more important for photosynthesis, I'll tell you about their purposes. Photosynthesis is the process of a plant taking in light and water and creating sugars. The formula is 6CO2 plus 6H2O, which will produce C6H12O6 and 6O2. Plants are able to process photosynthesis because their cells have a special organelle called chloroplast. Let's take a closer look into the chloroplast. This is a diagram of it. The outer membrane, intermembrane space, and intermembrane are just for protection of the organelle. These circular green stacks are called granum, and each single round flat pancake is called a thylakoid. A thylakoid contains chlorophyll and other pigments that start the process of photosynthesis. They are located on its outer layer. Photons from sunlight hit the pigments and electrons are knocked loose from the water molecules. Then these electrons go through a series of electron chains to energize the process. All this in a fluid substance is called the stroma, which is where dark reactions take place. The lumen is the inside part of a thylakoid, and the lamella are the connecting channels between each granum. Light dependence occurs in the thylakoid of the chloroplast. The thylakoid membrane contains electron chains and ATP synthase in the membrane. This teal-colored proton is called photosystem II. This lighter green-colored protein is called photosystem I. Isn't that ironic? Ha ha. In photosystem II, sunlight splits the water molecules apart. The hydrogen ions float around in the lumen and the electrons are pushed through the electron chain with the help of sunlight energy. At the end of the electron transport chain awaits NADP+, becomes reduced by taking electrons. Their reduced form is NADPH. As the electrons move through the electron transport chain, hydrogen ions are being pumped into the lumen. However, this creates a slight problem. What's the problem, you asked? Well, think about it. There is a high concentration of hydrogen ions in the lumen. Naturally, they would want to move from high to low. Well, how is that going to work? The hydrogen ions will move through the membrane with the aid of the ATP synthase protein. Not only does this protein allow hydrogen molecules to move through the membrane, but it also synthesizes ADP to ATP. Here in the stroma occurs the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle is named after Melvin Calvin. He and Andy Benson discovered this unique process in photosynthesis. In the Calvin cycle, the energy is used to transform carbon dioxide into a sugar called glucose through a process called carbon fixation. Carbon dioxide is converted to sugar using ATP and NADPH. It is combined with a 5-carbon sugar to form a 6-carbon sugar. This sugar is broken down into 2 sugar molecules, glucose and fructose. The reaction requires 72 photons of light. Before we talked about light reactions, well, the dark reactions occur in the stroma. So, in a nutshell, plants take in water, carbon dioxide and sunlight energy for photosynthesis, and through light and dark reactions the plant produces oxygen and glucose. Do you guys have any questions about photosynthesis?
I have a question, Miss Trust. How are the pigments and sunlight in the chloroplast directly influencing the photosynthesis process?
Can anyone answer that?
Come on, guys, your test is tomorrow.
Chlorophyll absorbs light from the sun.
But how? Dave, that's where you have to think deeper. Why is it necessary for the plant to absorb light?
Mistrust.
Yes, Mina.
Pigments only reflect certain wavelengths of light, which is why flowers have a variety of color combinations. Like Dave said, chlorophyll is important because it captures energy from sunlight and converts it to high-energy electrons. At each photosystem, light energy breaks the bonds between the hydrogen and oxygen atoms in H2O and aids the transfer of electrons in the ETC.
Good job, Mina. Any more questions? This test can be a grade booster or plunger.
Are there any alternatives of carbon fixation?
That was in the reading last night. Come on, Mom.
Oh yeah. C3 plants only use the Calvin cycle, but C4 plants fix carbon dioxide into a 4-carbon molecule before the Calvin cycle. I forgot what it's called.
Joe, it's called the C4 pathway. Duh.
No sass, Dave. Good job, Joe. Another alternative is the CAM pathway. Carbon dioxide enters through the stomata during the night time. It is then converted into a 4-carbon compound, which releases carbon dioxide during the day for use in the Calvin cycle. Extra credit. Who remembers the photosynthesis formula? Okay, yes, Dayla.
It's 6CO2 plus 6H2O and it produces C6H12O6 plus 6CO2.
Good job, guys. Study for your test tomorrow.